What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So we got an episode of This Week in Warframe. We go the entire weekly reset, and guess what? We got a big update this week on Wednesday, the Ballast Undermine update with the Mushroom Frame and more. We'll be covering that extensively when it comes out, but for right now, we're going over the weekly reset, what to expect this week as a Warframe player. We're live on stream right now, doing some Omniforma bundle giveaways and the weekly mission, so come on, stop by. First things first, you get a Umbra Forma at Teshin, setting the week off right. Spoiler for later in the video, they've also got some really good Incarnons this week too, so yeah, lots of good loot in Warframe. Umbra Forma Blueprint over here for 150 steel essence. Additionally, we have the big update on Wednesday. We also have an Evil Baro appearance on Friday. Now, don't expect me to know what's going on exactly there, but yeah, apparently he's going to have like some special armor set, some studs. I'm hoping there's like a hidden Kuva stud, but we also don't really know that for certain right now. Additionally, I think that Baro's going to be here longer than usual, so we'll see what's happening on front. But like an evil Baro for sure. You should still use ducats though, as per usual. Okay, moving on to the Dormizone over here. We've got a place you can grab ribbons and ARchon catalysts and things like that on a weekly basis. But right now we've got a ARchon catalyst, like I just said, for 20 Pathos clamps. You want to grab that. Primary ARchon adapter, shotgun ribbon mod, and a rifle ribbon mod. Reminder, there is a new rifle coming out on Wednesday called the Thornback. But there is no new shotgun, as far as we're. There's also a new Archwing gun, but there's no Archwing gun ribbons over here.
Nothing tickled your curiosity.
Yeah, as far as the Noko update, though, you can go ahead and watch my prep guide from a few days ago. Make sure you got the new war quest completed. You might want to have a build an Archwing gun or two, because they'll be getting arcane slots. Oberon's getting reworked on Wednesday, too, so tons of stuff. And we'll have the really, really big update in December with, like, Uriel and all that. Moving on to our calendar, see what we got going on over here. So we got a weekly loot drop over here to review. Let's see what we got here. So melee Archon adapter or one arcane. Reminder, these arcanes are being added to the Vosphor vendor on Wednesday, so definitely go for the arcane adapter instead. Next, you got some buffs of power gains, giving power strength, harden up, giving overshields on kill, or psionic feedback, giving AoE rad procs when damaged. After that, you got a 3-day XP booster or 2 arcanes. And yeah. Afterwards, you got another drop of More the Merrier, making non-10L allies get increased attack speed and fire rate for each one in range. Trick shots for Quincy, giving shots of a 10% chance of firing a secret projectile after each successful hit. Firing weapons reduce the chance. This does not work very well because enemies in this tile set die too quickly for this to actually matter. The only time you actually see this work is you have like a Tech Rot Babao who's very attenuated, and reminder, attenuation's changing on Wednesday as well. You'll get like a bunch of projectiles flying from them. Yeah, not super important. And Slice and Dice, another super unimportant perk. Not the greatest perks on this tier this week. You got a ARchon Reactor. This would be great to put on Noko on Wednesday, or you got 2 Arcanes. I'd say go for the ARchon Reactor. You got a singular Ribbon mod or a singular Arcane. Probably go for the Ribbon here. For your last page of loot here, you've got a Crimson Archon Shard or 6k Kuva. Please go for the Crimson Archon Shard. You know it's good for you. And for your last loot drop here, you got a Forma Blueprint or a Melee Archon Adapter. There are no new melees in this upcoming update. And for your last perks, you got increased magazine size, Spectre damage increase, or melee crit chance. I'd say go for whatever is the most exciting to you. Moving on to the Templar Archimedia, if you've been watching my previous videos, you might know that the extremely rare arcanes from the Templar Archimedia are being added to the Vosphor store on Wednesday. So that means Arcane Hotshot, Arcane Universal Fallout, even Arcane Escapist are being added for Vosphor on Wednesday. The prices have already gone massively down. Let's see what we got as far as the mission types for your Elite Weekly mission. You can still get Purple Archon Tau Shards from this. That's still really good and worth running it for. Alright, first mission, Hell Scrub, which is basically survival. Second mission, Exterminate. Third mission, Stage Defense. So Stage Defense is the final mission. That means if you fail it, you have to go the whole thing over again, unfortunately. But yeah, as far as what your modifiers are, hold your breath. The entire region is dealing toxin damage to you over time. Increase the longer you're in the toxin field. Except in the vicinity of a Hell Scrubber, some enemies may drop filters that create additional static temporary safe zones. So basically, kill enemies to have them drop safe zones. Wisp modes will save you here a lot. Next, It's Alive. Within the underground, hostile overgrowths will attack if players stop moving. So it's a survival. You're bound to be standing still doing nothing. Just don't do it underground. You'll get attacked by a bunch of tentacles. And the last modifier for this one, Miasmite Swarm. Tech Rot Miasmite swarm out of the shadows throughout the mission. They'll deal fire procs to you as well. Exterminate. We got the mission modifiers as Cache Crash. The consequences of the supply cache are active right off the bat. So If you don't do the cache, it will make you have to kill 400 enemies, so make sure you get the cache on this one, or these spawns will feel really terrible. And I would not wish that you have to kill 400 enemies for this. Next, Miasmite Swarm. Different than Miasmite Mash. Tech Route Miasmite Swarm out of the shadows throughout the mission. Is that really the same? Wait. Oh, no, Tech Route. Okay. Miasmite Swarm and Miasmite Swarm are both the same. I thought that was different for some reason. So, yeah. Either way, Tech Route Swarm going to be coming out of the shadows, giving you some fire procs. Should be a little bit annoying. And Bolstered Belligerents. All enemies at Overguard, and that's not too big of a deal. The last mission here, you got the defense with noise suppression as the first modifier. Drones will fly above flare, damage them. Competitive streak, the most annoying modifier. Random negative penalties from face-off will be active throughout this. Very, very annoying. Can completely disable energy regeneration. And the last one, heavy warfare. Enemies take 95% less damage from non-heavy Archwing guns. Enemies will drop heavy ammo packs, and heavy weapon recall time is reduced by 5 seconds. So, pretty annoying final mission there. Hopefully you don't fail it, because you have to do the whole thing over again. For individual modifiers, you get undersupplied. Max ammo of all weapons reduced by 79%. You can turn that on or off for more loot. You got hypersensitive, making negative procs triple duration. That is very annoying with these Miasmite Swarms, because it will be like a 17-second heat proc on you from one Miasmite. Constricted means your maximum energy is reduced by 75%. And powerless means you can't cast abilities until 50 kills go down in the mission. So, good luck with that stuff. Elite on-call crew members can get those 50 kills for you in that one. So yeah, looks like a pretty rough one for sure. Moving to the next elite missions here, we're going to go to the next planet, which will be the Kavia. And we're going to have a very similar mission, the Elite Deep Archimedia, but this one will be a little bit easier for some players. It really depends on what the mission types will be, but yeah. Technically a little bit less loot, because you can't get combined purple shards here, but you can still get red Tau shards, blue Tau shards, etc., etc. And yeah, this is a great place to get those on a weekly basis. Additionally, since we have Oberon getting reworked on Wednesday, hopefully you have some orange ARchon shards to buff those radiation abilities. That's what I'm thinking might be good on him, but we'll definitely see when it comes out on Wednesday. For this mission chain over here, got Exterminate, Alchemy, and Survival, very similar to the previous planet. As far as the mission modifiers, Fissure Cascade. Fissures ripping the mission that make enemies level up over time. Just destroy the fissures, shouldn't matter too much. Fortified foes, Guardian Eximus mechs appear, and they're going to have lots of shields. Don't worry about that too much. And post-mortal surges. This is the one you might have to worry about. Enemies explode when they're killed. That can be pretty deadly when not paying attention. For Alchemy, you got Alchemic Invulnerability as the first modifier. 10% of the enemies have impenetrable barricades that must have the proper element thrown at them. So if they have a toxin shield, you must throw a toxic grenade at them to damage them. Just expect a bunch of invincible enemies, basically. Devil's Bargain. Allies near a dead enemy have increased fire and reduced ammo efficiency. You're going to lose all your ammo instantly if you're near a dead enemy. And then also Entanglement. If you're near a dead enemy, you're also going to move really slow as well. So, yeah, that looks like a pretty annoying modifier and mission combo. For the last one here, Survival, you got the mission modifiers as follows. Parasitic Towers, Life Support Towers, only activate if 20 enemies die nearby them. Very annoying modifier for solo, because the spawns in solo are worse than the spawns in a full squad. So I'd recommend that you have a way to pull enemies into the circle. Depends what your choke points are. But yeah, if you are in like a room that is very open, enemies don't spawn anywhere near the Life Support Tower, I would say try to bait them over to the tower so you can activate this, because you're going to need it or you're going to fail the mission. Next, Alluring Arcanids. The dog robots will pull Warframe swordsmen as they charge their attacks. Doesn't really matter. And also Commanding Culverins. Rogue Culverins have 5 times damage to Overguard and mechs. Only thing you have to worry about this one is Parasitic Towers. Just basically make sure enemies are near the towers when they die. And for your individual modifiers, you got Fractured Armor. Casting the ability reduces your armor by 10% for 10 seconds. Shouldn't really matter. Ability Overlook. Open a rift when you cast an ability. Shouldn't really matter. Undersupplied. Max ammo of all weapons reduced by 75%. Might matter. And the last one, Untreatable. Pickups do not heal, and health orbs cannot be picked up. So if you can't pick up orbs, that means that your equilibrium builds might not work properly. So maybe have a friend like Citrine to heal you over time. Shouldn't be too terrible, but yeah, that last mission, Parasitic Towers, can be a little bit brutal in a solo instance, basically. For your Archon Shard at birth, we get a guaranteed red shard. This requires rank 5 with the Syndicate to get access to that, but it is definitely worth it on a weekly basis to grab that shard. Just 30,000 reputation. I'd like to remind you guys as well that we have the new Nightwave starting at the end of the month, but we have not gotten our 2-week warning yet. We should get our 2-week warning. Actually, it depends when you watch this video. The 2-week warning for the Nightwave ending might be coming up in the next, 12 hours. But yeah, that'll be on the 27th, the Dreams of the Dead Nightwave season. You can go ahead and check out my review video on that if you'd like to see what's going on with that one. Alright, so the ARchon Hunt, you got the Snake Archon giving Amber Archon shards, and the mission types are Mobile Defense, Disruption, and the Final Boss Showdown. A pretty long ARchon Hunt, all things considered. You got some really good Incarnons this week, as I stated earlier, but as far as the normal circuit, you got Titania, Inaros, and Ivara. Ivara comes from spy missions. Inaros comes from a quest, and Titania also comes from a quest. So you can save yourself a bunch of spy missions grabbing Ivara here. Her helmet ability is Quiver. The helmet ability of Inaros is Desiccation, Pocket Sand basically. The helmet ability of Titania is Spellbind, giving you status immunity. I'd say go for Ivara, save yourself a lot of time farming spy vaults, but you can also go for the other ones too if you don't want to, grind rep for Samaris. As far as your really good Incarnons this week, we got some top tier stuff for sure. We got the Torrid Incarnon, the Dual Toxicist Incarnon, the Dual Ichor Incarnon, the Miter Incarnon, and the Atomos Incarnon. As far as the strongest ones this week, you have 3 contenders for the best weapons in the game, actually. The Torrid, Dual Tox, and Dual Ichor. So I'd say if you're picking any of these 3, you're good to go. But as far as the overall best of the best, let's go over and talk about what is the best of the best. And it's also partially dependent on what you need. First weapon, the Torrid Incarnon, is a primary weapon. It's a toxin grenade launcher. Once you get a body shot or headshot, you will build Incarnon form. This weapon does not need headshots like most Incarnons do. So body shots are fine. Once you build that Incarnon form, you will change this grenade launcher into a chaining toxin beam with very, very high hybrid stats. As far as some of the best stats on your Survivor's Edge, gives you status chance and crit chance. And also, this toxin beam has very high base stats too. So really powerful stuff. It is one of the most meta weapons in the whole game, and it is used a lot. It's very heavily used. You're going to want a Riven for it too, because it has very high Riven stats. Go ahead and grab it right now if you don't have a top tier primary. I say only maybe don't grab it if you have like the Bursted Incarnon already. Like that's the level of power we're talking about. Top tier Incarnon for sure. Go ahead and grab it if you don't have it already. Next, Dual Toxicist Incarnon. This is a secondary weapon, a pistol, and as far as what this thing does, it normally is like a kind of awkward feeling semi-auto pistol, but if you get some headshots, you can go to Incarnon form, making it full auto and getting built-in ricochet. That does not explain how powerful this thing actually is. We need to actually read the Incarnon perks to see how the real power of this thing goes. So we got here Fevered Frenzy. On ability cast, 5% multi-shot increase. Stacks up to 20 times. So built-in 100% multi-shot from casting 50 abilities. That's like an entire extra multi-shot mod right there. Additionally, Commodore's Fortune is great for some built-in crit chance, and I forgot to mention as well, when this thing gets headshots, it gets built-in toxin image too. So if you have an electric build and you get a headshot, it becomes a corrosive build. So very, very good on that front. It's also very good for long-range killing and very high-level killing at that as well. So yeah, one of the best pistols in the game. It's like number 1, number 2, or number 3 best pistol in the game. Go ahead and grab it if you don't have it already. And another one, you can only pick 2 of these per week, reminder. But yeah, if you maybe already have one of those, the Dual Ichor Incarnon is redonkulous. It's a very, very powerful Incarnon weapon. It's the melee slot. These are some dual swords. After you get a 6x combo multiplier for melee and do a heavy attack, your kills after that will create toxin fields. And the toxin fields are very, very deadly, and they can chain quite well. So, additionally, if you mod these toxin fields, they will become not just toxins. So you can make it a viral field, you can make it a corrosive field, you can make it a gas field, whatever you feel like it. It will be very deadly. I love to use it on Valkyr Prime. With her nice melee damage buffing passive, it makes the clouds even stronger, and it makes them like multi-million damage clouds. You will be killing enemies in rooms you weren't even in, like for the last 3 minutes. It's very powerful, very good, and you should grab it as like number 1, 2, or 3 this week if you need a good melee Incarnon. Last 2 here, no, I was really saying those were good, huh? These last 2, they're really good as well, but they're just not really as must-have as the other 3 were. Because the Miter Incarnon here is a saw blade launcher, kind of similar to a bow a little bit. You have to charge this thing up to fire it. Well, you can charge up to fire it. But once you go to Incarnon form, after some headshots, unfortunately, unlike the Tor, this requires headshots, it will become bouncing, exploding, fire saw blades. I think I covered all of that. Yeah, so exploding, bouncing saw blades with homing that are very, very powerful on the crit department. Great for Acolytes. Reminder, Acolytes are apparently not going to be able to get one shot after Wednesday. We'll see about that. But if you want a one-shot Acolyte before Wednesday, this gun's great at it. So, yeah, some of the best perks are going to be Commodore's Fortune giving increased crit. But if you just want to use it for utility, it's also pretty good against Nullifier as well, the Neutralizing Justice Augment mod. And for your last Incarnon here, the Atomos Incarnon is a secondary, is a built-in chaining fire beam. That's what it is without the Incarnon. When we get the Incarnon, get some headshots, it will become a high-powered grenade launcher when it's not the chaining beam. This thing has a very high crit, and it also has some pretty powerful perks like Hoplite Virtue. Actually, no, that one's good, but Paladin Virtue is one I like more. When you have over 700 maximum energy, you get built-in increased base crit damage multiplier. So that isn't a skill-off mod, so you're going to be really, really strong with that kind of a buff. That being said, the main problem with this thing is that it actually is too good at killing sometimes. Because this thing requires headshots, unlike the Torrid, you are going to be shooting at an enemy, and when it chains, it will chain to nearby enemies, not to their head, though. So the enemy you just shot at, you might get a headshot with. They got some Incarnon charge. But the enemies nearby, we're getting chained to the body, and then probably died from that, too. So you just lost your potential Incarnon ammo because of the chaining of this weapon. I think they should maybe change it to make it where it requires body shots, but whatever. It's really good, but it's probably like one of the lower tier ones this week. As far as the best of the best this week, guys, go ahead and grab the Torrid and the Dual Tox as your best primary and secondaries. But if you already have like the Furious, you already have the Burstin, you don't want to get another good secondary, go for the Dual Icarus number 3 or your number 2. It just really depends what you already have. But yeah, number 1, number 2 would be the Torrid and the Dual Tox for me if I was to go back and grab these. And maybe expect a new Dual Tox video from me this week. Alright, so that's that. Let's move on to the Nightwave. Like I said, guys, the Nightwave is ending on the 27th. You're probably going to get your 2-week warning tomorrow. So yeah, if you want to grind out the Zaku skin and all that, 2-week warning. It's more like the 2 weeks and 1 day warning from me right now. So go ahead and start grinding it right now if you haven't already. All right, challenges as follows. Flawless. Clear a railjack boarding party without your Warframe being damaged. There is the Intruder stasis ability that will stun them in place. Should be pretty straightforward. You can also use Revenant or Rhino for this as well. Next, Protector. Complete 3 mobile defense missions. Pretty straightforward. And then the next one, Elite Beast Slayer. Destroy the Steel Path Aura Worm. Much more involved than a normal Aura Worm, but still pretty fun. Go ahead and grab that if you want that rep. And the last Elite Weekly here is Survivor 20 minutes in Kuva Survival. For your individual permanent weeklies, you got Kill Enemies, Eximus, and Complete Missions. For your cred offering store, here's what we got. Looks like pretty standard stuff at the top up here. Got a Varuna helmet, always nice to see. Titania helmet, Zaku helmet, etc., etc. Dante helmet's cool to see as well. But yeah, if you want that stuff, go ahead and grab it. We got Napalm Grenade for the Penta, Exposing Harpoon for the Harpack, Critical Precision for the Tiburon, and Dizzying Rounds for the Bronco. Also, as far as Aura mods, we got Enemy Radar, Dreamer's Bond, and Sniper Scavenger. I'd say out of all these, maybe go for Dizzying Rounds. It's pretty good on the Bronco and Incarnon, and maybe go for Enemy Radar if you want that as well. The rest of the stuff is pretty passable, honestly. As far as your Mastery Fodder, looks like no Mastery Fodder at all this week? Not a single weapon in this Nightwave store this week. Interesting. I feel like that is usually not the case. But either way, no Mastery Fodder here. And as far as the weekly reset, guys, I think that's all for the weekly reset. We got Evil Baro showing up on Friday. We got the new update on Wednesday. Should be really, really fun. And I'll be covering all this stuff extensively. So make sure you come on the live stream if not already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if there's any builds you'd like to see before the update on Wednesday. And we'll see what we can do. So take it easy, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.